Yes, it's showtime. Hello, hello.
Hello, Magda.
Deva, it's good to see you. We're going to give it a 30-second little buffer window. So anyone who's joining us live can join us live. And in the meantime,
Absolutely, absolutely. In the meantime, I would like to. Okay, you were supposed to say something about the opening statement. You would wait for that.
maybe.
Okay.
Oh no, it's okay. You know what? We can actually I think we can get started because anyone who's going to join us live will join us live very soon. So let's jump into it. I will do my little welcome. Welcome
Okay.
everyone. Welcome Deva, my lovely guest for today. My name is Magda. I'm the CEO of Cotaria, and I'm here every week. Well, not me. Sometimes somebody else is here, but I'm usually here every week for a quick chat with one of the wonderful members of our Cocharia community, frequently Cocharia alumni, but not always. But our community, we're just talking before this call, is big and global and lovely and just pretty freaking amazing. So these sessions are here to showcase the wonderful members of our coaching community and to share their knowledge, experience, etc. with the rest of us. And today's session is about a coaching approach to parenting teens. I don't have any kids. Frankly, I don't think I could handle them. I can barely handle my parents. Um, I can barely handle myself. So I think it's a blessing that I don't have kids. I've got other ways to contribute to society. But as I was thinking about today's session, I was thinking about when I was a teenager. And in general, I thought I was a pretty easy teenager. I mean, okay, my parents are watching. They'll be like, no, Magda, let's talk after. But I think on the grand scheme of things, even so, I can think of honestly like 20 different ways that a coaching approach to parenting me would have been better for my parents. I don't know about myself. I'm keen to hear what you think, but just giving my parents sanity, um man, I can see the benefit. So, maybe let's kind of get started with the framing, parenting teens, tough enough as it is. What is the coaching approach to parenting teens?
Magda, huge actually, but it's mostly of an understanding or it's a process to be followed rather than a few tips. Now, when as a coach, and this is my line of specialization where I am coaching parents of the teens. So these parents come to me expecting is that I will give them some very smart, easy, quick tips with which they will go further handling their teen kids. But I would like to disappoint you or everyone in general that there are no quick tips. It's a process, and it's a process now for the last couple of I would say two generation. Parenting teams have become a big thing. It's a huge, books are written, seminars are held, talks are happening. Parenting teens are like time bombs to be happening. I have clients or I have friends asking me, oh my god, you have a teen son, how does it feel? It's like I'm living with a time bomb. Does not necessarily have to be that. It's the understanding of the way we approach parenting as a whole. So, what happens is that when we talk about parenting teens, one surprising thing I notice is that most of the parents, when I say this, it comes as a surprise to them as well, that most of the parents, if I have a 15-year-old son or a daughter, I am also a 15-year-old mother or a father, no matter what my age is. I'm not a 30-year-old, 40-year-old, 50-year-old mother. I am a 15-year-old mother. If you have this understanding and you approach your teen kid with that understanding, that, hey, look, we're of the same age. in that relation.
Yeah.
Let's work it out together. And in the core of it, and there are lots of things that we can talk about, but today we have this limited time that we are talking. So in the core of it lies the very concept of active listening,
Hmm.
which is very different from just simple listening. So it has to be listening versus active listening. So what do we mean by active listening? I will tell you this little incident, Magda. This it happened a couple of months back, and I discussed this with Cindy as well. I don't know if she's listening to this. So just after the second wave was over, and second wave, you must know, it had hit hard. To It was very bad in India. It was really, really very bad. So the lockdown was lifting, and we were allowed to, with lots of restrictions, we were allowed to go out. So one of those days, I went out for a walk, and I was fixing my cell phone for my music and all that, and I heard a father and a son talking. They were out, both of them were in the bicycle. They stood there by the bicycle, and I confess I was eavesdropping because the subject was close to my heart. So the son must have been 15, 16, not more than that. So he was in this rebellious mood. He was rude, shouting, throwing tantrums. He wants to sit on a plane and go to Delhi to his grandparents. He wants to start playing soccer with his friends. He wants to go to the gym. And he was like, I want to do this. I can't sit at home. I'm not going to. Now everything is fine. That was his attitude. And the father was shouting him down, saying, what an irresponsible behavior. Look at your age. You're 15 years old, 16 years old. Don't you have so much of this much of sense? How can you say like this? What Whatever everybody is doing should be good enough for you. And much more heated discussion went on when the son finally sat on his bike and rode off. And I saw the father standing there with drooped shoulder and, head hanging. What happened? What happened? Who was wrong? This is where the sense of active listening comes. What the father heard was that the son was acting irresponsibly by wanting to go to Delhi, exposing his older grandparents to the virus, wanting to play out when it was not safe, wanting to go to the gym. What the father did not hear is that his 15-year-old son is frustrated sitting at home. That a 15, 16-year-old son or a child for the last 2 years is confined to the house, more still, confined to four walls, sitting 6, 7, 8 hours a day doing classes and tuitions and etc. Not interacting, not meeting his friends, not talking to anyone, not playing, his usual life gone. He must also be fearful about what will happen to his future, whatever plans he had for his future, further studies, graduation. He doesn't see it happening anymore. He's scared. The father did not see that. The father did not hear that in his voice, in his tone, in his body language, in the choice of his words, the tantrums he was throwing. The father just heard those words of his irresponsible behavior and reacted. If the father would have been actively listening, if the father would have, what involves active listening? You are listening beyond what is being said. You are listening to those what is not said. Magda, if you have a teen kid, he's not going to come stand in front of you and ask for help. He'll not say, I'm helpless, help me out. All this will manifest in all the actions. He's throwing tantrums, he's going mad, he's that way it will manifest. It's the job of the parent or the orientation of the parent who will have to understand this and interpret this. That my son is frustrated, he's confined to the house, he's scared. That is his plea for help. If he understood and heard all those by actively listening, he would have responded and not reacted. And the response would probably something like, yes, I understand you are in a difficult situation. Let's sit and talk what we can do about it. Let me hear you out. What do you think about the situation? What do you think we should do that? Communication break happened there. And most of the parenting, the problem between parents and these teen kids are the break of the communication. They speak a different lingua, they are on a different tangent, and parents usually of our generation and the previous generation, because we were brought up that way, we are in the mode of a download. We need to tell our kids what to do, what not to do. We don't take into account that they probably already know. We just need to be supportive. Try partnering with your parents. In coaching approach, when I am with my clients, I keep telling them that a time comes when you need to stop, showing your finger and tell them, okay, this is right, this is wrong, this is what you do, this is don't you. You need to form a partnership. And the partnership is, I am a 15, if you are my 15-year-old son or daughter, I'm a 15-year-old mother or a father. Let's figure it out together. You will be amazed. You will be amazed by how much matured, especially these millennials or kids that we are trying to bring up,
Hmm.
are how matured they are, how informed they are, how much they know. Give them a chance to talk and listen without your baggage of this is how it should be. Couple of days back, a mother was sharing with me that I told my daughter she shouldn't be getting into any relationship before she's 21 years old, because by 22, 23, I want her to be married off. Now is the time for her to study and focus on her career and this and that. Did you ask your daughter what she wants? No. What does she understand? She's a kid. So when you are trying to say we are parenting, what does actually mean? The definition completely needs to change. Parenting doesn't mean I'm in the place of authority and as a parent I need to tell you everything. The partnering needs to happen, the active listening needs to happen, the lingua of the parents need to update what language you are using, because they use a very different language. They use a very different language. This again, Magda, few days back, a mother, we were discussing, talking, and my son is so they watch my son or daughter, they watch those Harry Potter, and they're discussing about that Voldemort character. Imagine, they're obsessed with such character. This guy doesn't even have a nose.
Okay.
So, and my kids should be involved in better things. I mean, they're constantly about this character who moves around with horns and this character who doesn't even have a nose. So I asked them, I said, why do Voldemort doesn't have a nose? The kids were there. We were in one of those festive moods. And it was a light discussion. I said, why does Voldemort doesn't have a nose? And these kids explained to me that they don't have a nose is showing some sort of, among our five senses, if one of our senses are switched off, it it causes a disparity of the character. You can hone your other skills and use it to an extreme to do good or to do bad. Voldemort took it in the wrong way. It's just to show that it is his insecure point, that is his weak point. And when you switch off one of the five senses, the the ability to smell, it does something to your character. Wow. I asked him, where did you find this? They said, it's, five senses and how it works. We all know. How do you know? They have brains. They can think.
Mm.
They can think. We don't need to focus on telling them everything. Go eat your food. Go take a bath. Go to bed. Don't do this. Don't do that. And that's where we lose the bridge. We lose the connects.
Deva, so this sounds like an amazing way to partner with between parents and children. It definitely sounds like what we do as coaches when we partner with our clients. So it's resonating with me big time. And like I said in the beginning, if my parents had this approach as a skill for them, I think it would have made life a lot easier for them. Of course, for me as well, but frankly, for them, because I can see how it would be less frustrating. Um, yeah, having that understanding and having that comfort that we can have a conversation about things. So, definitely, I get the benefit. What's kind of like coming up for me is how do you get there? Because this is easier said than done, right? You're a trained coach, and even though we're on, a screen on Zoom or whatever we're on, millions of kilometers away, not millions. Where are we? Thousands of kilometers away.
Thousands of kilometers
Um,
away.
I can feel your presence, right? I can see how calm you are, and just you know what you're doing. You've honed
Mhm.
this skill. Where do parents get started? You can't just jump into this, right? It's hard to let go of the telling, um and ask and getting into asking, and it's hard to listen differently if you've been doing something a certain way, at this point, if it's a teenager, for 13 and 14 years. Where do we start?
Start by getting yourself oriented to the idea. First, accept it. First, the acceptance of it. Today, there are books, there are seminars, there are coaches like us who will tune you to that. So, there are different platforms where we get to know this. First, the idea of the orientation of the idea, that yes, they are different. And yes, this is not parenting is all about, where I point my fingers and tell my kids 10 different things in a day to do or not do. That is a process, Magda. These are not tips. Again, because like I said, I get clients who said, what do we do? They want 10 tips, they want 5 tips. No tips. You first need to understand, orient yourself to that phase where parenting needs to be, at least after a certain stage, parenting needs to be partnering. You need to get into the platform. And when you talk to these teens, Magda, you realize that we think they are rebels. We think they are those time bombs waiting to explode, and they don't understand anything. They are on a hormonal drive. Nothing as such. It's there. But what shoots them off is that no one is willing to hear their new ideas. The moment they say something that is different from what we used to say, or how we grew up, that very moment we decide that they are wrong. Every new idea is wrong. If I'm from a working class background where my parents and their parents had a job, if I want to start my own business, I'm wrong. If I want to marry someone who does not belong to my community, I'm wrong. If I want to not pursue my studies in this direction while I want to go this direction, I'm wrong. Before, as parents, we decide what is right or wrong. Have a word with your child. I'll tell you this, Magda. There is this very interesting experience I had, and a lot of it. I get parents contact me to counsel their teen son. My teen son is this. He doesn't study. He doesn't know. He wastes his time constantly on the video games playing and da 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 da. Da. So I want counseling. And every time I spoke with the teenager, 9 out of 20, when I hear and I speak with a teenager, 9 out of 20 times I find that the child is absolutely in the right place, and the parents would probably help. I could probably help the parent with the coaching or counseling. It's them who needs help. It's not the kids. And huge disconnect over there. If I ask them, there is this interesting survey that happened up last year, I think, somewhere in US, where two sets of kids with their parents were divided. One set of parents were asked to talk to their kids and tell them about the importance of honesty and integrity in life. And the other set of kids, the parents were instructed to ask their kids what is their view about honesty and integrity in life as they grow up. The first set of kids came out, and when they asked, what did you learn from their parents? Their response, most of their response was, mom said that and dad said that and da 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 da. Half of the things they did not hear. But to the other half, they came out saying, we learned a lot. When the parents were instructed to ask from their kids, not tell them, they came out saying, we learned a lot. Most of the time, parents get into this downloading mode. We don't need downloads. We need to partner, we need to partner, we need to partner. I cannot say that enough. We need to partner with that kid. Be supportive, not instructive. So, a coaching approach, Magda, when I was going through my coaching session with Coach Arya, I was with Cindy. That's when I understood in the core the importance of active listening and partnering. Two huge takeaway for me, for my coaching as well as a parent. I cannot emphasize the importance of it. Keep quiet and listen with all your, senses. Put aside your baggage and partner with your kid.
Keep quiet and listen, I think, is good advice for most areas in life. Not just
Yes.
parenting teens. Deva, this has been really interesting to hear. Again, even though I don't have kids, I think the things that you're talking about can be applied in so many different areas of interpersonal relationships, but especially to parents who think they have difficult kids, as teenagers are often seen. So I hope that everyone who's listening, watching us live and or later has gotten as much value out of this as I have. And thank you so much, Deva, to you for being here today and partnering with us and teaching us about your area of expertise. And if anyone here is interested in working with Deva, just leave a comment. We will definitely tag her in all the socials when we post this video and audio. So please reach out. And I will be back here, same time, same place next week with another lovely member of our coaching community, talking about another place where coaching can be applied. Because, the more we do these things, the more I realize literally, like, you could just fill in the blank. The coaching approach to, if we just learn to
Yes.
listen more and we shut up for a little bit, we can literally make the world a better place, don't you think?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Magda. It was wonderful talking to you, though I did most of the talking,
Hey, that
but
was
it was
the
good. But yeah, today that was the point. Exactly.
point.
Thank you very much. I had a good time.
Thank you very much. See you next time. Bye.
See you. Bye.